Oh yeah, we got a really good show for you today. We have Reggie Fleurima. He's 211 on 24/7 Sports. He has offers from most notably Cincy, Michigan State, Iowa, Illinois. He goes to Naperville Central. Thanks for coming on, man.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So I was watching some highlights from last year. You played some wideout. You played some H back. You played some safety. You did some rollout nickel. Talk about like your versatility of your game and how you came about playing all those positions.
Yeah, so with my high school, first off, I actually started at Naperville North High School, and
Okay.
then I transferred to Naperville Central, so the rival high school. But yeah, specifically for offense, they moved me around just because of my size and my speed. My last time I ran a 40, I was a low 4.5, and I'm 6'2", 200. So they think I'm fast enough to be on the outside, but I'm also I'm also big enough to block on the inside and block the D ends and the outside linebackers. So that was a big thing. And it's just obviously better for me if I'm more versatile. It's easier for me to find certain matchups, whether it's on an outside linebacker or a corner, which could help me get open.
Yeah. I was interested in this. So you said you played for Naperville Central. Why did you transfer from Naperville North?
Mainly just because I had a lot of players a lot of players at Naperville Central I played with when I was in middle school, and then our middle school split, and I went to Naperville North, and there was just a variety of factors that honestly just played out, and then it ended up working out for me because once I came to Central, I got a little bit more exposure, and then obviously I ended up getting offers. So.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome here. I'm interested. When did your love for football you really think started for you?
Man, so my dad started making me play in pads in kindergarten, and I played guard, and I was playing. So in kindergarten, I was playing with third graders getting killed, and I honestly it sucked. But I mean, now that I look back at it, it's like great. I've always been playing against older kids, so when I got to the high school level, still the transition was challenging, but I knew what to expect. Like bigger, stronger kids, and like now obviously I'm an upperclassman, so it's gonna be weird playing younger kids. It's the first time I've ever played younger kids, but yeah, I mean, I played on a team called Naperville Patriots. Played with them through kindergarten to fifth grade. Then I played for my high school feeder team, sixth through eighth grade, and then in eighth grade, I went back to the Patriots. So I played with both of them.
Yeah.
So that was honestly pretty neat. And then I actually won nationals in eighth grade with the Naperville Patriots as well.
Oh, that's
So
awesome to hear about that. That's cool. You talked about your dad. Your dad played for Wu Holtz in the early '90s, right? For Notre Dame.
yeah, he did actually. He played there from 91 to 95. So he actually grew up in Evanston, Illinois. So he's real close to where we are. It's about 45 minutes away. So
Do you think that had a? Did that have like a really big impact on why you like chose to play football?
Um, honestly, I was just so young. I grew up around it. So I would say yeah, because I mean, I grew up and he just basically put me in pads and I enjoyed it. And then ever since then, I mean, at one point I played football, basketball, baseball, soccer, and wrestling. And
Wow.
then, yeah, that was third grade. So then my dad's like, all right, you're going to cut it down to two. Which ones do you like the most? And I just decided football and basketball. And then I actually also did track in middle school. But then once I got to high school, I stopped playing basketball because I played the 4 and the 5, and I'm 6'2", not 6'8". So I knew it wasn't gonna work out for me. So I just stuck to football, and here we are now. So
Yeah, that's awesome. That's kind of like me. I played a bunch of different sports. Parents told me to cut them down around that age. You're going into your spring season this year. First off, talk about Illinois high school football as like a whole. I think it's like one of the most underrated states for it. What's it like competing there?
no, it is a very underrated state. There's a lot of great players. I've my old teammates from Naperville Patriots, one at Fenwick, one at Naz, a few spread out all across, and they're also getting recruited. But overall, it obviously is, I personally think, underlooked. But the competition here is great. I mean, our conference is great. There's a bunch of conferences around us that are great. So the competition is great. I mean, we played last year. We played East St. Louis and Lincoln Way East, which both won state, and two great teams. They would do if there was a Midwest tournament. Those two teams would definitely be the
Mhm.
top five. So no, Illinois definitely has a great football area. But I would also say with the spring season, it's really unique. Um, for my team in particular, we have, I believe, a 5 game season with a 6 game little regional championship, and we're trying to match up with a team outside of our conference, but we'll see what goes with that. But no, it'll definitely be unique. Obviously, like we're one of the only states playing in the spring.
Mhm.
The good thing is that all eyes are going to be on us, because everyone's already all the players who played in the fall have been evaluated. So hopefully the snow could just clear up and maybe all I'm asking for is 30s and some sun, and then we'll be fine. I'm kind of getting sick of this 5-degree weather.
I feel you. It's been snowing every day here. I think we got like 4 or 5 inches. It's
Yeah,
been a
it's
lot.
shoveling's getting annoying. So
Yeah. I was talking to Tad Hudson, a few of those guys. They're top recruits in North Carolina. I think they're like one of the only other states that are playing. So you talked about obviously getting looks and stuff. You don't tell me what schools, but like as a whole, how's like the recruiting process with COVID? What's it like?
to be honest, it did slow down a lot because I mean everyone's playing and I'm sitting at home. I mean, obviously training and stuff, but I can't go show my talent on the field. So it definitely did slow down. It started to pick back up after the college seasons were over. But as of right now, it's been the same schools hitting me up. But there have been a few schools that have come in the mix and just texted me like, oh, just so you know, we'll have our eyes on you for your junior season, which is good. And who knows, there might be other schools who haven't reached out yet who have their eyes on me. But it definitely is kind of weird. Not visiting schools, not being able to go to any games, kind of unfortunate. But um, yeah, it overall has just been weird. I mean, like when my dad got recruited in high school, he said it was obviously way different because there was no COVID back then. So yeah, it's been challenging. It's a little unfortunate, but there are some good things. I've created stronger relationships with certain schools because I've been talking to them much more. So
Mhm.
that's one positive to come out of it.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. Here, taking a positive out of a negative situation.
Yeah.
What do you think are your biggest strengths on the field?
Biggest strengths, I would say my physicality. To be honest, like when I'm with corners, I'm actually looked at a lot as a great blocker as a receiver. Some receivers don't like to block or don't take as much pride in it, but
Mhm.
I actually enjoy blocking a lot, and it feels good putting someone and pancaking them. So that's like a very good. That's like something that I emphasize a lot. But I think I have good hands and good speed too, and obviously a good frame. So those are also things that help me out a lot on the field, and that's what college coaches have pointed out to me.
Mhm.
So
That's cool. So I'm interested to hear what's your like favorite football memory you think?
my favorite football memory, oh, definitely eighth grade. So we were in Kissimmee, Florida, and we played 3 games. First game, we played some team from New York. Second game, team called Westlake. I want to say from North Carolina, maybe somewhere in the South. Um, they had a stud running back, but first game was a blowout. Second game was really close. We were almost lost because people were cramped. It was 95 degrees. My quarterback cramped, our starting running back cramped. I was one of the only guys who wasn't on the sideline suffering. But then our championship game, we played a team from California, and it was 8-0 or 7-0 basically the whole game. Fourth quarter, they score, missed the extra point at 7-6, but they had all the momentum. And we're all like, man, this isn't looking too hot. Then they get the ball back. And one of my best friends, Tyler Morris, goes to Nazareth High School. He's highly recruited. He gets a pick, I want to say at the 40-yard line. So we get the ball back. And then a few plays later, I signaled my quarterback, Kane Cobb, who's at Fenwick, also has multiple D1 offers. I signaled him to give me just a go ball. I ran a go ball, scored probably like a 40-yard touchdown somewhere around there with God maybe 2 minutes 30 seconds left somewhere around there, and then they get the ball back and they're marching. They're at like the 40, and our whole team's like, man, if they score, it might get a little scary. And then they throw when it gets tipped up. I have it's right here, and my one of my friends Terry comes in, picks it off, takes it to the house, and then we won the national championship. It was craziest 5 minutes. It was the craziest fourth quarter of my life, honestly. It
Yeah,
was just so much back and forth. It was just a great outcome. But
yeah, awesome.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's actually
gotta be.
that's a funny story. Do you think like the cramping and all that was really due to like you guys being up in Illinois, not dealing with that heat of Orlando?
Yeah, well, so here's the thing. Our regional championship was in some, I don't remember where in Ohio, but it was no more than 15 degrees, and it was sleet. There was sleet and snow, and like I'm telling you, I couldn't feel my hands. So going from that all the way to Florida within a matter of probably 2 weeks, and the first game wasn't bad, probably 85, obviously still hot, but the second game was so hot and it was super humid. So and obviously we already had a game under our belt, so our bodies are a little tired. So man, it was tough. I mean, after that, we had Pedialyte. Our coaches were bringing Pedialyte, and we're chugging them during the game. They had mustard packets and pickle juice on the sideline. I mean, it was ridiculous. But the third game, actually, we were way better. It was more towards the afternoon, so it wasn't as sunny and as hot. It's probably more in the 70s, like the high 70s. So it was actually way better. But then, man, that second game, I don't think I've experienced a game hotter than that, to be honest.
Yeah. That sounded like Ohio weather. I live here in Ohio. That sounds 15 degrees, sleet and snow. That's pretty much our weather in the winter
No,
here.
yeah, it was so bad. I mean, I'm telling you, like it would just be, and the wind, it was so windy. Like in warm-ups, we're all like, we can't even get warm, you know?
Mhm.
But I mean, it was same for the other team. The score was literally 6-0. We won. So
Well, you don't have to tell me about that. I'm hoping I get a good answer for this. I'm a Chicago Bears fan, but who's your favorite NFL team?
yeah, definitely the Bears. Unfortunately, in some circumstances, I mean, obviously we see what goes on with them, but I mean, I honestly wanted to get Deshaun Watson. I don't know how hot that's looking because I heard some stuff about Carson Wentz, but I don't know. I
They
mean,
want Carson Wentz. We're better off with Trubisky than Carson Wentz.
I know. And I saw obviously JJ Watt. I don't know if you saw he got traded. That would be nice. But honestly, I'm not as worried about the defense. The offense is where we need to pick it up. Maybe add a few old linemen in there.
Yeah,
But I mean, I'm also not a Nagy fan either.
no. I
But
think
obviously,
Trubisky would be better without Nagy personally. Trubisky's a good player. He just doesn't have. They don't run him like good offense for him.
and yeah, I don't think he fits well in the system.
Yeah.
But I honestly don't think he's that bad. Obviously, I don't know why the Bears decided to get him over to Sean or Mahomes in the draft, but
Yeah.
I won't even get into all that, man. It's gonna give me a headache.
No, that was funny. It's like, little things too. It's like in the playoffs against the Saints, they had that 50-yard throw, touchdown, went right through his hands. It's just those little things.
That was, and who knows where that game's going. If they score that, honestly, the game was back and forth and the defense was doing their thing. So,
Yeah.
man, that one hurt. That one hurt so badly. Like watching it, I was just like, bro, you're in the NFL. You gotta do better than that.
That was bad. The thing that made it worse for me is that Trubisky got rated player of the game by Nickelodeon.
I know. I actually watched on Nickelodeon.
Nick was so good. They should do that more.
It was like the weirdest experience. Like I was just like, who thought of this idea? But it was pretty cool, like the animation and stuff.
Yeah. Final two questions. What do you like to do in your free time when you're on the field?
When I'm not on the field, I actually have this book right here. Called God's Calling. So I read it, take notes. It's about life and stuff and Jesus. I'm big on that stuff. Also, I take naps when I can because I have a lot of training. I think those are two big things. And I also just watch. I'm really. Some people think I'm weird, but I literally go on YouTube and watch a whole rerun of a football game.
Yeah.
Literally, I'll be in my bed for 2.5 hours and I'll just be watching it with my AirPods in, just watching people, watching great highlights and stuff. A lot of throwback games in the 90s, just because obviously we weren't around then. So it's good to see teams and how they played then. So yeah, those are a few things I like to do in my free time.
That's awesome to hear about like the book. I do that same thing. I run like Young Life and FCA and where
I actually did FCA in middle school and at my first high school, and then FCA got shut down because I go to a public school and they're real weird with those rules.
Yeah.
So there's also Young Life. I don't do Young Life, but there is a Young Life because it's one big organization, right? Yeah,
Well,
it's out.
we got like smaller little branches. For me, I just help out a bunch of the younger kids. Like every year I take like a freshman squad and then I, meet them. From my junior year, I took a freshman squad, and this year I'm getting another squad. So I kind of just help out the younger kids when they're going to high school.
Yeah. So yeah, I know I have a few friends in Young Life, but I feel like Young Life, it's so they like ran it. I don't know if they ran it through the high school or like they were high school kids, and I was one of the younger kids. Like we like went into like this. We went to this park with the older kids, and they taught us like the tips and tricks and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then I'm pretty sure they like stopped running it for some weird reason. Public schools around here are really weird about that, and it's a long story, but yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I
That's,
liked SCA a lot actually. We used to do it in the mornings, and then
yeah.
it was so.
That's tough that they do that there. I always finish out my final question. How do you want people to remember Reggie Fleurima when your career's over?
My career is over. Obviously the sports side of things, great athlete, all that stuff, but more importantly, like how I was off the field, how I treated my teammates, great personality. I just want them to know that I was a team player, you know, not out there just trying to get my own. I want everyone on my team to be successful. That's just how that's how I've always been. So that's just the main thing, you know, a bright spirit, positive energy. I hate when people bring negative energy to the team. You know, I don't like when people pull others down with them. I like when teammates lift each other up. That's what you're supposed to do when you're a team. So yeah, I think that's just the main thing that I would say. So
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on, man. We really appreciate this.
no problem. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Got 1 second.